I'm going to make a claim that sounds like an excuse, but I want you to hear me out before you decide yourself, because every time you've tried to cut back on social media and have failed, every deleted app, every screen time limit you hit ignore on, and every night you told yourself at midnight and looked up at 2 AM, that probably wasn't a self-control problem. It was an engineering problem. Someone built something specifically to outlast your self-control. And it worked. On you, on me, to be fair, and on basically everyone. So this engineering problem needed an engineering solution. So I built an app about this. Here's how I got here. But I should say first, I didn't hate using social media. That's the part that confused me for a long time. I liked Instagram. I had friends on there, people I'd have followed for years that I wanted to keep in contact with. So the problem wasn't that I didn't want to be on the app at all. The problem was about what happened 3 minutes after opening the app. So there's a specific feeling. You open the app to do one thing, I don't know, reply to something, check an event on Facebook, see one story, see a post that someone sent you, or even see the one reel or TikTok that someone sent you. And at one point, you open the app, and the one thing you came to open the app for is done, but you're still here. 20 minutes go by, then 40, and when you put your phone finally down, you feel sort of hollowed out. Like you ate something that wasn't food. I had that almost every day, and I couldn't figure out what was causing it. Because it wasn't the whole app. Like some of Instagram was fine. The problem was something inside it, and I kept treating them as the same thing. Because the obvious answer was delete the app. If you hate it, delete the app. I deleted Instagram on Sunday, made it to Tuesday. Tuesday, someone I was supposed to meet sent me their address through DMs, because that's where I told them to message me, and I needed the app again. So I reinstalled the app, got the address, and then because the app was back on my phone, I scrolled for 40 minutes before I remembered what I'd come there to do, and before I remembered why I deleted the app. That's the version I like to tell people, but honestly I think the address was an excuse. The real reason is, I had built my entire life inside the app I was trying to leave. DMs, plans, people I genuinely wanted to keep up with. Every few days something real that I actually needed the app for would pull me back. And you can't really delete your way out of that. Screen time limits then, 30 minutes a day. When you hit the limit, a screen comes up, it says time limit. And right below that, a button, ignore limit, for today. I pressed that button every day for 3 weeks, and here's what I eventually understood about that. I think I was right to ignore the limit. The limit was wrong. Not too strict, it was just wrong. It couldn't tell the difference between 45 minutes of something I'd actually chosen to do and 45 minutes of whatever the algorithm decides I should do right now or see next. It treated both the same. So when I had something I wanted to watch, someone I had actually subscribed to on YouTube for example, or a video I had been sent, the timer cut it. And I pressed ignore because I wanted to continue watching the thing that I was watching, right? Because that was the right call for that specific scenario. A time limit doesn't understand the problem, it just counts. And then willpower, which I want to be careful here because willpower doesn't work is exactly what someone says when they want an excuse. I'm aware of how it sounds. But what I mean is, you don't solve a spam problem with willpower. You use a filter. Willpower runs out. It's a resource. And these products were built by very smart people specifically to beat your willpower. You're bringing self-discipline to something that was engineered to beat it. I deleted and reinstalled Instagram probably 4 or 5 times over these 2 years, and I kept noticing something weird. The first few days, every time, the app was actually kind of boring. I'd scroll through posts from people I followed, put down my phone, and nothing really compulsive about it. I think maybe I just needed a break. Maybe it's fine now. Maybe it's fixed. Then about 2 weeks in, it would change. The feed would start getting interesting in a way I hadn't chosen. The pull would come back. The same pull, the same patterns, the same 2 AM, and I'd be exactly where I had started. I sat with that for a while. What it told me was, without any history, the app was just an app. It was the algorithm, the short form video feed that spends the first 2 weeks learning what keeps you watching, that I was actually fighting. Not Instagram, not my attention span, a model that had studied me and knew things about myself, about how I'd respond to different videos. Reels, that's what Instagram calls it. Shorts on YouTube, it's the same thing. Every platform launched basically the same product around the same time with a different name. I hadn't asked for it. I followed photographers, people I went to school with, accounts I'd actually sought out. That was my choice. Reels get put in the middle of all of that. It's a feed that doesn't even need you to have followed anyone at all. It just needs to keep you there. and it doesn't need a long time to figure out how to do it. And creators optimize every bit of their screen time to keep you watching for the longest amount of time, and they are rewarded with more views. Once I saw all of this clearly, that it was specifically this, not the platform, not me, the fix seemed almost obvious. Just take it out. I should be honest though, I didn't think it was going to work. I'd been wrong about the problem 4 times already. Every attempt had failed, and building a browser felt like a more elaborate version of the same mistake. A more complicated thing that would also not work. But there was a difference. Every other attempt at solving this problem had been about restricting my own behavior, setting limits, building friction, relying on discipline. This attempt was about removing the one specific thing that was keeping me hooked, that was causing the problem in the first place. I wasn't necessarily trying to use Instagram less, I was trying to use it without the one part that was costing me 3 hours of sleep. So iPhones have a browser engine that you can inject code into. You can strip parts of a web page before they even render. So I basically built a browser that takes in Instagram and removes the reels before you even see them. Same for YouTube Shorts. The posts, the stories, DMs, the people you actually follow, you can still see and interact with as much as you want, just not the endless, infinite scrolling feed. So it took a couple months to build out this app, and the name I landed on was Dull on purpose, because the actual experience of using filtered Instagram without the reels at first is boring. You scroll for a bit, but there's not much to see after you've seen what your friends have posted or caught up with the DMs, and you put your phone down. That's the entire product, and I wanted the name of this app to say it, I had to do it. And the first time I opened Instagram on the thing I'd built, reels weren't there. The feed was posts from people I followed. I went through them, caught up on a few things, replied to something, and then I noticed there wasn't much left. I'd seen it all. I put my phone down. I was on the app for like 9 minutes. That sounds like nothing, but the key difference to every other app and what this actually means was the session had a natural end, a natural cue that basically told my brain that this session is over, you have caught up with everything. I opened the app, did the thing that I opened the app to actually do, ran out of content and closed it. That sequence, running out of Instagram, had never happened to me before, because the app is literally designed to prevent it. You never run out, there's always one more thing. 9 minutes, and there wasn't. That was the proof. Not that I'd built something useful, I still don't know that. Just that the theory was right. Remove the specific thing, and the specific problem goes away. Which should be obvious, but after 2 years of failing at this obvious way, 9 minutes felt like a lot. And I put it on the App Store and started telling people, and a few weeks later I wrote a post on Reddit, not about the app but more about the idea itself, and I had expected maybe 50 people to read it, but by the end of the day it had 70,000 views, and most of the comments were the same sentence but different words. Roughly, I thought I was the only one who felt this way. And that's the thing I keep coming back to. Not the views, the fact that tens of thousands of people had been having the same exact experience. I think this is one of the worst addictions of our generation, and I think the companies are finally starting to get sued for the addiction that they have caused us. I think that it's not the fault of the people, but the fault of the companies who have designed their apps to be so addictive. And I think that you can't really just say that people have better self-control. This is why I decided to build this solution that removes the problem itself from the apps. The app is called Dull. You can see the link in the description of this video. Look, I said at the start of this video, this sounds like an excuse, but maybe it is. The line between external problem I couldn't control and story I'm telling myself to feel better gets genuinely blurry after 2 years of losing the same argument, and I'm not sure I can fully tell the difference anymore. But you watched this entire video about it, so you've probably had the argument too. So go to get.app to join the movement of fighting against the addiction of social media.